Now today we're looking at 4 very popular inline fuel filters. Let's take a closer look. Now the first thing is every filter here is made for the same vehicle, so we're not mixing and matching different filters. It's all the same application. The second thing is the pricing. You will find such a wide price range regarding these filters. So every filter here was purchased off Amazon, and I'll have links below if you want to see more information on each filter. But the Fram is the highest costing filter. This is a $16 filter made in China. The second is Wix. This is a $15 filter made in China. We have the K&N at $12, and then Ecogard. Now I'm not sure if this is an Amazon in-house brand, but it's very inexpensive. They also make cabin filters, air filters. This is $5.60. So it's just such a wide range regarding the pricing. But let's first take some measurements. Now on the surface, these all seem to be identical, but I think we will see some differences as we check these out. Again, Fram $16, made in China. The Wix is made in China. Ecogard is made in China. The K&N is the only one here that's made in Mexico. The other thing is the Fram is the only one that has a plastic cap on the end here. In other words, every other fuel filter is fully metal regarding the construction. This has a plastic end cap. But let's start very quickly. I just want to take a measurement on the square inches of the shell. We'll cut them open and we'll compare that to what the filtration or the media looks like. Just to see, I'm curious if they're just giving you a lot of empty space. Let's see how much this is actually filled inside the canister once we cut it open. Okay, let's do it. So the Fram is 7 3/16 of an inch. I'm counting, it looks like when they bond this, or how it's machined, I'm guessing the media starts right here below this lip. So that's where I'm counting or measuring from, and this is 2 3/16. So that's roughly 15.7 square inches of surface area. Again, the Wix is fully metal, 100%. This is a $15, so $1 less, again on Amazon, and I'll have links in the description box if you want to check any of these out. But here we go. And the Wix, again, 7 3/16 of an inch, and let's take a look at the length. You may be surprised that the Wix is made in China. I am. I'm figuring right here it's ending, so 2 3/16. You could even push 2 1/4, but let's just say 2 3/16. By 2 1/4, I don't think it's starting to dip down. So same exact measurements as the Fram. But regarding the oil filters, I've opened up a number of them, really high quality, excellent oil filters, wire backed. Great bang for your buck on their oil filters, all made in the USA. I don't know if this is just something that they're changing over to China. I could not tell you at this point. K&N, let's take a look. I've used K&N in the past regarding fuel filters, never ever once had a problem. Same with their oil filters. I'm a fan of their oil filters. I know people say they leak. The thing to remember is on the oil filters they have a 1-inch nut. That's only to remove the filter, not to tighten it. If you tighten it, you can break the spot welds, and that will create a leak. So it's only for removal regarding the oil filters. But I am a fan of their oil filters, just because when I cut open these filters here, I will measure the thickness of the can. K&N tends to give you a very thick shell, and that provides a high burst pressure, and I tend to like that. But let's see what we have here on the K&N. 6 15/16 of an inch, so a little bit thinner. Let's take a look at the length. This is 2 3/4 of an inch, 19 square inches of surface area. So that's by far the biggest one we have here. The Ecogard, this is the economy one, you can say, in a way, in terms of the price. $5.64. Again, they make cabin air filters, very high ratings on Amazon, all 4.5 to 5 stars. 7 3/16, same as the Fram and Wix, and the length identical, 2 3/16. So Fram, Wix, Ecogard, exactly the same. K&N, you have 4 extra square inches of surface area. Let's cut them open. So here we have it, and as you can see, it's nice to see that every single filter here does employ metal end caps. In other words, sometimes in oil filters you'll find a fiberboard end cap as opposed to metal, but this being for fuel injection vehicles or fuel injected vehicles, they operate under very, very high pressure. So it's nice to see metal end caps among all 4 of them. Don't forget, big price range difference here as well, $16 down to $5.60. So all 4 of them have it. Secondly is the canister. I did measure the thickness of each canister or each shell, and the K&N is measured at 0.89 millimeters in thickness. The wicks, as you can see, is 0.7 millimeters in thickness. The Fram is 0.68, and Ecogard 0.66. So really, besides the K&N, the other 3 are pretty much in the same ballpark. You're talking about a very small percentage, but the K&N really just gives you that extra security. And it's not the most expensive one here, so it's nice to see that. Now let's talk about the media. As you can see, every filter here runs a cellulose type of media. Take a look at the Fram here. Very nicely made. You don't see any overspray in the gluing. In other words, sometimes on filters, when they attach the end cap to the cartridge, you'll find some overspray. This is really nicely made. The spacing is excellent, and I did measure the square inches. This has the highest number here, 12.75 inches. Very, very cool. I was not expecting this. Sometimes some people are not the biggest fans of their oil filters. I have no problem with their oil filters. I've used them for years, never once had an issue, but sometimes you find some big gaps on their Ecogard oil filter, but this is really nicely made. Again, you're paying top dollar for it, but that's pretty darn good. I'll give you some examples on how often to change these in the description box below. Now, the wicks came in at number 2, but it's not perfect on the measurement, and that's because it's domed. In other words, it's thick on the bottom and then thins up when you get to the top. So it's approximately 12.6 inches in surface area. Again, you're running cellulose metal end caps. The gluing is really good. This was a little hard to open, so it's a little messy here, but I was expecting a little bit better on the wicks, to be honest. Their oil filters are excellent, really nicely made, wire backed. This seems a little rushed in a sense, but here's your little, this is what I mean by overspray. I mean, I'm nitpicking at this point, but again, you're paying, in this case, what's the wicks again? It was 15 bucks. You know, it's a $15 filter, so it's not inexpensive. K&N, as you can see, really nicely made again. A little bit of overspray right there on the gluing. And the square inches on the K&N is 12.5 inches of surface area. Again, you're really paying for the shell when it comes to the K&N, and of course the filtration. You know, it's not only is a high strength the shell, but you have high flow rates. The efficiency is very good, and for 12 bucks, if it was my vehicle, if I had an older vehicle that required one of these, I would still go with K&N. Personally, I've used them for years, never once had an issue, and I'm very loyal in that sense when it comes to things like that. But take a look at the Ecogard. This is the last one here, 11.81 inches of surface area, really nicely made again, for the most part. I mean, take a look at the gluing, the spacing, really cool. Now, unfortunately, I can't compare them over time. You know, if I could pull these out after 30,000 miles and see what they look like, that's one thing. This is just from an engineering construction standpoint. That's the only way I can do this right now. If I could do it a different way, I would. But pretty darn cool. You know, for $5.60, I mean, this looks pretty good. It's pretty darn amazing on what you get here. But I hope this gives you a pretty decent idea in terms of what you're paying for. If you want the highest square inches, Fram is your guy. Ecogard, definitely for budget, but let me know what you guys think. Please leave some comments below. I'd love to read what you guys, maybe you've used some of these over time on your vehicles and you love them, you hate them. Please leave those comments. I love reading what you guys always have to say. So that being said, thank you for watching. Stay well, and we'll see you next time.